Hi everybody, this is Lucas here, Health Supercharger on YouTube. I wanted to make this video for any of you who are close to or thinking about or just about to swap your animal-based nutrition um, towards a whole plant-based nutrition. And most people have all kinds of programming or fears or doubts within them because of the industries, the governments, the corporations, and other entities who actually have significantly influenced our population on this planet. I want to let you know, as a 13-year high, raw, whole plant-based nutrition individual, health guru, whatever you call it, whatever you want to label myself or label me. Basically, I've been 13 years not consuming animal foods other than maybe tiny traces amounts from the blackberries and the fruits that I don't wash. Like 0.0001% of my calories or less than that. But you do not need it in any shape and form. If you want to improve your health will be definitely improved, assuming you're not making very poor plant-based choices. Your digestive system is the only way you can turn your digestive system into a digestive system instead of what the average people have is a sewer, totally a sewer inside. They eat a third or a quarter a third or a half of the meal of any fresh fruit, which I make meals of twice as big as they can ever eat. And they have problems digesting, they say, or they have problems with diarrhea. Well, of course they do. There's all kinds of junk in the digestive system. And not only that, but their digestive system is not really working that well, very weak, damaged, inefficient. And when people see me eat the meals I eat, they're like, wow, how can you digest that? Well, you stay healthy for 13, changed 15 years ago. I made significant changes, but definitely 13 years. And repaired a lot of the digestive system and did a lot of fasting and have not consumed too much of junk for the last 13 years to damage the system. And actually worked on increasing its strength and capacity and ability to digest food. And just been choosing well-made choices. So that's a big one. That's the big one. That's the only way you can have a clean digestive system. If you know anything about digestion of animal substances, you'll know. If you ever want to have energy, you better start consuming carbohydrates, because when you're consuming fats and proteins, that's a big task on the body. And every scientist that studies the human body to any significant degree knows that the body runs predominantly on carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, glucose, fructose, ATP, basically. And if you're putting in fat and protein, not much carbs in there. It's going to be a lot of work for the body to convert some of that. If you are trying to keep away from cancer, well, fat and protein is what meat is consists of. Predominantly, there's basically no carbohydrates. You're eating acidic substances, so it acidifies the body, especially the digestion afterwards as well. It doesn't help it. So all kinds of problems. You acidify any tissue, you can have vision loss, you can have kidney lowering in its ability to work, and any part of your human body. You do not necessarily want to be pushing your body into managing its pH level by consuming that kind of stuff. And people are adding on top of animal fare and dairy products, they're putting in all kinds of processed foods which are just trashing their body. If you don't want to be aging fast as well, most people are aging at least twice as fast as they need to. Gandhi proved it when his organs were much younger than he was when he was assassinated. I believe he was 76, and his organs were supposedly at the same vitality, shape, and condition of a 35-year-old man, roughly middle-aged, say. Um, Hydration, it's going to be very hard to be hydrated when you have dead corpses running through you, high fat, high protein, with a lot of contamination, antibiotics, food colorants that the body is going to have to be eliminating. And elimination takes a massive amount of water, and it's a big one. It's pretty much impossible to be fully hydrated if you have constant supply of junk in your body. Another standpoint of view, animal foods are biological concentrations of toxemia, a huge amount of toxins in the fatty tissues predominantly. So when you're eating fish, chicken, poultry, whatever, wild game, you have a lot of junk that the body has accumulated and you're consuming it. Not only that, but our system is not able to digest it properly. So in the 37-degree heat, 36, 37-degree heat, 98.6, what the average person has, it will putrefy and not be properly digested. That's why people smell as well. And no fiber in animal foods. So you're gonna have a long transit time, typically 2, 3, 4 days, instead of the nice 18 to 24 hours when you're eating fruits and slightly cooked vegetables, tubers, starchy squash, starchy fruits, starchy squashes, and whatever. So, yeah. What else can we talk about? We do not need it. For 13 years, I haven't consumed any of that. Dairy, cheese, eggs, meat, whatever you call it, fish, none of that. And another standpoint, for cruelty and for being peaceful on this planet, to be consuming and killing or supporting someone to kill thousands of creatures every year or every few years, and 10,000 or more during your lifetime, that's bad karma, in my opinion. Very bad karma. And it affects you. I noticed when I cut out that stuff, it affected me in many, many ways. You became a lot more peaceful, less stressed, but more conscious of your environment, more conscious towards other beings on this planet, and a bit more caring, I guess. And all kinds of shifts happened, and were very positive. They were very positive. What else can we talk about? The industries want you to consume foods that are animal-based, even though the truth is that if you want to follow your ancestors, even just 100 years ago, in 1900, our diet, almost everywhere on the planet, except for certain areas where there wasn't much plant-based nutrition, like the Inuits, our planet was consuming vast amount of its calories from plant-based nutrition. Europeans, North Americans, 100 years ago, they were consuming 80% roughly of their calories from plant foods. Meat was very expensive. Even 50 years ago, 60 years ago, my mom's partner and countless other individuals told me, oh yeah, we were poor, we had only 1 or 2 meals of meat, and it was like a couple ounces, which tiny portions. That's all they had for a whole week. Maybe some milk, I guess, and not much animal foods, basically. It was expensive. Milk was expensive, cheese was expensive, meat was expensive. So our ancestors were growing, thriving, working hard, and surviving on